Have you ever turned on the news and felt like the world was falling apart? War, exploding oil prices, runaway inflation, people losing their jobs, governments in crisis. Everything tells you one thing: stay away from the stock market. It feels obvious. If the world is getting worse, stocks should crash, right? But here's the part almost nobody talks about. Sometimes the biggest stock market opportunities are born from the world's darkest moments. That sounds crazy.
Maybe even impossible, but history keeps proving it. And to understand why, we have to go back to a market crash that most investors have completely forgotten. Not 1929, not 2008, not COVID. I'm talking about 1973. A crash so devastating that millions of Americans believed investing was dead forever. A crash that quietly changed Wall Street. A crash that still holds one of the most important lessons for investors today. Because hidden inside that disaster is the answer to a question that confuses almost everyone.
If war is so bad, why do stocks sometimes go up? Let's find out. Imagine waking up in America in 1973. Life seems normal. The economy had been growing for years. Companies were making money. Americans believed the future would only get better. The stock market had become almost magical. People weren't asking whether they should invest. They were asking, what should I buy next? Many believed certain companies could never fail. These stocks became known as the Nifty 50, big household names, trusted brands.
Companies people thought would grow forever. Investors paid almost any price just to own them. Sound familiar? Because we've seen this story before. .com stocks, housing, crypto, AI. Every generation believes this time is different until reality shows up. And in 1973, reality arrived all at once. Thousands of miles away, a war erupted in the Middle East. Israel fought against Egypt and Syria in what became known as the Yom Kippur War. At first, most Americans didn't think it would affect their daily lives. After all, the fighting wasn't happening in New York or Chicago or Los Angeles. But then something happened that changed everything. Several major oil-producing countries decided to punish nations supporting Israel. They dramatically reduced oil exports. Almost overnight, the world faced an energy crisis. Gas stations began running out of fuel. Cars stretched into lines that seemed endless. Families waited for hours, just hoping to fill their tanks. Some stations simply closed. There wasn't enough gasoline. People panicked. Businesses panicked. Entire industries panicked because modern economies run on energy. Without oil, everything becomes more expensive. Transport, food, manufacturing, heating homes, running factories, delivering products. One shock spread everywhere, and suddenly inflation exploded. Imagine buying groceries. Every week, the prices are higher. Your paycheck stays almost the same. But your bills don't. Your mortgage costs more. Gas costs more. Food costs more. Everything costs more. Families began asking impossible questions. Should we buy groceries or pay the electric bill? Confidence disappeared. Fear replaced optimism. Businesses stopped expanding. Consumers stopped spending. The economy slowed. Then the stock market noticed. Wall Street doesn't just react to what is happening today. It reacts to what investors think will happen tomorrow. And what they saw terrified them. Higher inflation, higher interest rates, slower growth, lower profits. Nobody wanted risk anymore. Selling became contagious. One investor sold, then another, then thousands more. The market didn't simply fall, it collapsed. The S&P 500 lost nearly half its value. Some famous companies lost 60, 70, even 80% of their value. Years of savings disappeared. Retirement accounts were crushed. People who thought investing guaranteed wealth suddenly believed the stock market was nothing more than legalized gambling. Sound familiar? Because every major crash creates the same emotion, not fear, hopelessness. That's when people stop saying, the market will recover. They begin saying, the market will never recover. Those are very different sentences. If you walked through New York during those years, you wouldn't hear people talking about buying stocks. You'd hear people asking, should I sell everything? Financial magazines were filled with pessimism. Experts argued that America had entered a completely new era, an era where high inflation would never end, where investing no longer worked, where the best days were over. It's strange because every generation believes its crisis is unique. In 2008, people thought banking was finished. In 2020, people thought the economy was finished. In 2022, people thought inflation would destroy investing forever. Today, some people believe AI bubbles, massive debt, or global conflicts mean markets can never reach new highs again. History doesn't repeat perfectly, but fear does.
Every generation thinks this time is different. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Most people assume the market crashed simply because there was a war. That isn't the full story. In fact, history shows something much stranger. Some of the biggest market rallies have happened during wars. World War II, the Gulf War, even more recent geopolitical conflicts have shown markets sometimes recovering while headlines remained terrifying. How can that be? How can stocks rise while the world watches conflict unfold? It sounds heartless.
But the stock market doesn't measure emotions. It measures expectations. And that changes everything. Because the market isn't asking, is today terrible? It's asking, will tomorrow be better than investors expect? That single idea explains why millions of investors misunderstand the market and why so many miss life-changing opportunities. In the next part, we'll uncover the hidden rule Wall Street follows during wars, recessions, and global crises, a rule that has quietly created fortunes while everyone else was running away. Here's the mistake almost every investor makes. They think the stock market is a scoreboard. Something bad happens, the market should go down. Something good happens, the market should go up. Simple, logical, completely wrong. The stock market isn't a scoreboard. It's a prediction machine. Every second, millions of investors are asking one question. What will the world look like 6 months, 1 year, or even 5 years from now? That's why the market can fall while the economy still looks healthy. And it's why the market can start rising even when the news is still full of fear. That sounds backwards, because it is. Let's go back to 1973. The oil crisis wasn't just making life expensive. It was changing expectations. Businesses expected lower profits. Consumers expected higher prices. Banks expected more inflation. The Federal Reserve responded by raising interest rates to fight rising prices. Borrowing money became more expensive. Companies slowed expansion. Families spent less. The economy slipped into recession. Everything seemed broken. If you were alive back then, you probably would have believed America was entering a permanent decline. But the market wasn't waiting for perfect conditions. It was waiting for one thing, a reason to believe tomorrow might be slightly better than today. That's all it takes. Not perfection, just improving expectations. Think about planting a tree. You don't wait until it's fully grown to buy the land. You buy it while it's still a seed. The stock market works the same way. Investors who wait for everything to look safe usually arrive after the biggest gains have already happened. Because by the time the news says the economy is recovering, Wall Street has often been buying for months, sometimes even a year earlier. That's one of the hardest lessons in investing. The headlines describe today. The market prices tomorrow. Now, let's talk about war. When people hear that markets sometimes rise during wars, they assume war is somehow good for stocks. That's not true. War destroys lives, families, communities, entire economies. Many companies suffer enormous losses. Markets often fall sharply when a major conflict begins because investors hate uncertainty. The future suddenly becomes impossible to predict, and uncertainty is expensive. But once investors begin understanding the likely economic impact, the market starts looking forward again. Not because the war is good, but because uncertainty begins to shrink. History has shown this pattern more than once. During World War II, the U.S. stock market struggled after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Fear was everywhere. No one knew how long the war would last. But as American factories expanded, industrial production surged, employment increased, and investors became more confident about the country's long-term future. Stocks recovered long before the war actually ended. Not because war was a blessing, because investors believed the future would eventually be stronger than their worst fears. The same pattern appeared during the Gulf War. Markets dropped before military action as uncertainty exploded. But after the conflict began and investors gained more clarity, stocks rebounded surprisingly quickly. Even in recent geopolitical conflicts, markets have often experienced sharp declines, followed by recoveries as investors adjusted to new information. The lesson isn't that war makes markets rise. The lesson is that markets react to changing expectations, not simply to headlines. This is why watching the evening news can make you a worse investor. The news is designed to capture your attention. Fear captures attention. Disaster captures attention. Breaking news captures attention. Quiet economic recovery? Not so much. Imagine two headlines. Global crisis sends shockwaves across markets. Or businesses slowly improve inventory management. Which one gets the click? Exactly. But investors who become wealthy often learn to separate headlines from long-term value. They're not ignoring bad news. They're asking a different question. Has everyone already reacted to this? Because if millions of investors have already sold in fear, the bad news may already be reflected in stock prices. That's why legendary investors often sound strange. When everyone is excited, they become cautious. When everyone is terrified, they become curious. Think about the greatest investors in history. They weren't fearless. They simply understood something most people didn't. Panic creates discount. Imagine your favorite store announcing a 50% sale. People rush inside, but when the stock market announces a 50% sale, most people run away. The product is different. The psychology is the same. Fear changes how our brains work. We stop thinking long term. We focus on survival. That's a perfectly natural human instinct. It just isn't always a great investing strategy. So what happened after the forgotten crash of 1973? Eventually, inflation began coming under control. Businesses adapted. Innovation continued. America kept growing. And something remarkable happened. The same market that millions believed was permanently broken recovered, then reached new highs. Companies that looked hopeless during the crash became incredible long-term investments for patient investors. History repeated its oldest lesson. The future was never as hopeless as fear made it seem. Now, think about today. Every year there's a new reason to believe investing is over. A recession, a banking crisis, a pandemic, inflation, artificial intelligence, government debt, trade wars, real wars. Every generation gets its own list of reasons to panic. And every generation believes their crisis is the one history has never seen before. But markets have survived world wars, oil shocks, political turmoil, financial crashes, pandemics, and technological revolutions. Not because the world becomes easier, because human beings keep solving problems. Businesses keep adapting. Innovation keeps moving forward. The companies change. The technologies change. The headlines change. But one thing never changes. People continue building the future. And that's ultimately what the stock market represents. Not today's fear, tomorrow's possibilities. So the next time you hear someone say, there's a war, the economy is doomed, the market is finished, remember 1973. Remember that one of history's most forgotten crashes eventually became one of history's greatest investing lessons. Because the market doesn't reward the person who predicts every headline. It rewards the person who understands how fear changes prices. Sometimes the scariest moments create the greatest opportunities. Not because bad things are good, but because the future has a habit of arriving long before people are emotionally ready to believe in it. So here's one final question. The next time the world tells you to panic, will you follow the crowd Or will you remember the forgotten crash that almost everyone else forgot? Because history doesn't reward perfect timing. It rewards perspective.
And sometimes the greatest investment you'll ever make is learning to think differently from everyone else. This is DollarWise.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।